Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, everybody. How are you doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Thank you for the early contributions. So Gregory says, salute. I will be interested in your take in the consultants too and the leaders of the Democratic Party about possibly spending $10 million in a study to learn how to speak to young men and how to reach them. First of all, thank you for that. And thank you, Farrell says she making a Hulk Hogan, we coming for you face. Okay, to get to talk about this for 2 hot seconds. I don't know why they don't know how to talk to the young men of today. That's what it seemed like. A way to launder money, because if don't nobody know nothing else about the Democratic Party, they was some laundromat. Oh boy, they laundered that money, baby. Y'all want to be on the Democratic rule so bad, which both of them, the Democrats and the Republicans, got all that BS going on. But they was stealing so much money. Like, do y'all realize how much money the Democratic Party was stealing from the United States coffers, directly impacting the citizens' taxes? That's why we're in this inflation like this. Y'all have any idea about how crazy that is? But before I get off into that, I don't know why they don't know how to talk to the young men of today. They talk to the young men of today as if you are speaking to women, because they are effeminate, not homosexual. Listen to what I'm saying. The majority of the youngest male generation are effeminate men. They're not homosexual men. They are effeminate men, meaning they have the emotional setup of women. And the reason that they have the emotional setup of women, I don't know why the Democratic Party is playing stupid with this. Feminism, right? Y'all wanted the women to run everything. You effeminized education, school systems, classrooms. You medicated the boys. So many of them are growing up in single mother households without the emotional regulation of men. Not enough men in the communities to help, and in the homes more specifically, to help regulate the emotions of the young boys coming up. So they have the emotional setup of women. They have the emotional setup of their mothers. So, and you, the propaganda, the LGBT propaganda, the propaganda of saying that boys can be girls and girls can be boys, and it doesn't matter which one is which, and you can wear dresses and heels and still be a boy, and this and that, and gender roles are a social construct that we no longer need to uphold, and we no longer need to work on that, and we don't have to talk about that, and you can do whatever you want because there's no such thing as this is what manhood is and boyhood, and this no such thing as what, all while feminizing them. Because there are only two energies. There's only the masculine energy and the feminine energy. And you feminized it. You feminized everything. It's a gynocracy. So y'all set it up. Y'all set up the gynocracy. Now you don't know why you can't talk to the boys traditionally like boys, and why they're not behaving and accepting information like previous generations of men. That is because the previous generations of men held on to what is masculinity. You've brainwashed the younger generations of boys. Now they don't know what masculinity is exactly. And there have not been enough men in and around their lives, homes, schools, communities, in order to demonstrate what masculinity is and to counteract the brainwash that you gave them. So you're spending money to talk to boys that you feminize. Talk to them like women. That's how you talk to them emotionally. You talk to them emotionally. You don't need any money. Talk to them through their emotions. They have to be talked to through their emotion. Unfortunately, because it confuses them, because it fights their nature to approach things logically. They don't know how to regulate the emotion in order to get it out of the way so that they can think linearly and logically. They don't know how to do it because it is a skill. I told people years ago that masculinity, just like femininity, is a skill set to learn. You born with masculine energy and feminine, like you're born with the nature of it, but you don't know how to do it. You don't know what it is. It has to be demonstrated to you. It's nurture. Masculine nature is nature. How to be a man is nurture. Female nature is nature. How to be a woman is nurture. You have to teach that. That's cultural. That's for the home. That you have to teach that. You have to boys have to be taught how to be men. They don't just know how to be men. Girls have to be taught how to be women. They don't just know. They know how to be female, they know how to be male, but they don't know how to be men, and women have to teach that. Y'all taught the boys to be girls. Talk to them like girls. Speak to their emotions first. Unfortunately, that is how you talk to the younger generation of boys now. You have to talk to them like girls. And you got to really be careful about it because they have the aggression of males. They have the aggression of males and the feminine emotional setup of girls. It's a dangerous mix. It's a horrible cocktail. Horrible cocktail. I seen a video. I don't even know if I can find it because I have so many videos, and sometimes it's something to really go through them, and I forget which platform they're saved on and all this other type of stuff. But I saw a video, this has to be about a month or two ago, where this man, he had his little boys. Boy couldn't have been no more than about 4 years old or so. And he had his little son. He had 2 of his little sons. One was like 3 or 4. The other one looked like he might have been about 6. And he had them in boxing, in a little boxing class. And he was there. He was like helping to coach them and things of that nature. So the boxing coach was, trying to teach the little one how to guard his face. And, he's not hitting them hard or anything. He's like he's like just tapping them or whatever. Like he's just tapping them. And the little one started crying because he kept getting hit upside the head. Tapped upside the head. Obviously, he's not hitting these little kids, right? He's just like teaching them the motion. And so the little one starts crying. He starts crying real bad. And so the coach says, go to your father. So the little one walks over to his dad and he's crying. So his father, the first thing that his dad does is not to hug him. He doesn't pet him. It's this right here. I found it. I was looking for it and I found it while I was talking. Oh, y'all have got to see this. This is the necessity of fathers. Okay, this is the necessity of dads. Real quick video. This is not even the topic. This is the necessity of fathers.
Hands up. Okay? Alright? I don't hear nothing. Let your dad fix that. Go over there and see your dad. Let him fix that.
Fix it.
1, 2, 3.
What you crying for?
1, 2, 3.
What are you crying about?
1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3, 2. There you go. 1, 2.
Okay, so you
1, 2.
put some left until you say something.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3.
Back, run, go.
Good. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Go run one with your brother anyway. One mess up, everybody go. Everybody go. Go.
Come on,
Go.
come here. What are you crying about? You still don't know? Huh? Okay, go on.
Now, that right there, for those of you who don't know what you're looking at, the men will know. Sometimes the women don't know. He's not coddling that little boy. I'm going to go back to it. The little boy's crying. He can't even articulate why he's crying. The father's asking him, why are you upset? He's stuck in his emotional place because he's a little kid, right? He doesn't understand how to get past it. What his father's doing is making him run. It's not a punishment. It's a physical way to make him work through the feeling. Work the emotion out. Work it. Work your body. Let the energy come out, because we're not going to hug you. I'm not going to pet you. I'm not going to wipe your face. That's what your mother would do. I'm your dad. I want you to think it, not just feel it. I want you to think it, because if you just feel it, but you can't articulate it, you don't know what's going on, you just going to stay here and cry, that's not acceptable, because that's not how men work. And you're a little boy, you're not a man yet, but I'm teaching you. So that's very important. We're going to continue.
Go faster.
You know why you're crying now? What's up? Why you crying? Good. Why did he do that? Do you know why he hit you in the eye? Because you didn't have your hands up. You understand?
1, 2, 3.
He's trying to teach you why your hands need to be up.
Good.
So
1, 2,
next
3.
time, if
Good.
he hits
1, 2,
you
3.
with the phone,
It
won't
got
hit
in
you in the
there.
eye
1,
because
2,
your
3.
hand be up. You understand?
Good. 1, 2, 3.
Put your hands up. I hit you in the face. Now put your hand back up.
Come on.
Your hand better block that shot. You understand? That's why you got hit in the eye. What you gonna do with his hand? Say something. What you gonna do with his hand? You gonna put it up now, right? So that way you don't get hit in the eye. You understand?
Elbow.
That's why you got hit in the eye. He wants you to learn to put your hand up so you can protect yourself. You was crying, right? Show me you're mad. Here you go. Put your hands up. Hand up. Hand up. Boom. There you go. All right, now I want you to block your shot. I'm finna try to hit you, okay? You ready? Boom. All right, now throw a punch. Throw a punch. Throw a punch. Boom. Boom. Good job. Hand up. Boom. There you go. Throw a punch. Boom. Boom. There you go. Hand up. Boom. Throw a punch. Boom. Boom. There you go. Boom. 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 There you go. Boom. Here we go. Boom. Boom. There you go. That's why you got hit in the eye. He wants you to learn to protect yourself, okay? You all good now? You want a hug? Come on. Alrighty. Alright, go back and train. Go ahead.
Keep your hands up.
That was extremely important. Extremely important. He gave him the emotion after. Why was it important to give him the emotion after? Because it's not okay just to feel the emotion. You have to process it. This is what a lot of women miss. This is why it's dangerous to be raised only by a woman, boys and girls, because she doesn't know how to process her emotions. She know how to feel them, but she don't know how to process the emotion. Think it through. Feel the emotion. Now process it. Why do you feel that way? What's going on with you? I tell women this all the time. Think about, why do you feel this? Why did this situation, this thing, what was said, what was done, what's going on? Why did it make you feel a certain kind of way? You got to be able to articulate it to you. If you can't articulate it to yourself and be very clear on why you feel a certain type of way, nobody else is going to be able to help you. You can't even help yourself because you can't articulate why you feel a certain way. Once you identify why you feel this way, now you can process it. You can't even process your emotion before you figure out why you feel it. It's not enough just to feel it. You have to now process that emotion. That is a very lesson that he taught his son. You feeling it, but why? Okay, go do something until you can regulate. You have to be able to think about why you feel bad. Why are you crying? Use your words. Think about it. Okay, I got hit in the eye and, it made me cry. The little boy doesn't understand why he's getting hit with this phone. Now that after his emotions got regulated to a point where he could listen, then his father taught him why. Now his logic, now he can think it instead of feel it. This is the process. Notice how he stopped crying. Notice his father did not have to wipe his face. He stopped crying and he started listening. Because now I'm over the emotional response. Now to get me past the emotional response, now I have to think. We have to solve the problem. I don't want to get hit in the eye anymore. So how do we solve this problem? Okay, now the reason you're getting hit with the phone is because you need to block it. He's trying to teach you to block it. Okay, now you hit. The hitting gives him confidence. Notice how he started getting a little bit energy. Now, okay, now hit. Now he wants to hit. Okay, now block. And he put that hand up because he didn't want to get hit no more. Put that hand right up. His father explained it to him again. This is why. Okay, so if you don't want to get hit with the phone, you have to do what? Put my hands up. Okay, he'll remember that. He won't put his hands down again. Then he walked off and he said, now you want a hug? Uh-huh. Because he's still a little baby. That boy is no more than like 3 years old. So he a baby. So he need the baby part. That was his father going real quick into his feminine energy, switched over to his feminine energy to give the baby a hug. Because the baby needs a hug. And then he came right back out into his masculine energy, now go train. Now the little boy understands. Now he understands. It teaches him to process his emotions and how to solve a problem. That is the father's job. That is what a mother would not do. That's what a mother can't do. She can't. She doesn't know how to teach that lesson. She may know that the lesson needs to be taught, but she doesn't know how to teach the lesson. The man knows how to communicate that to the child, to the boy child, and really to his girls too. That's why girls need their dads, to make them process emotion. Not just feel the emotion, process it. Women get too much of a pass because we're emotional to just let her feel it, and then there's no. There's consequences behind it. There's stuff that comes after you feeling whatever it is that you want to feel. Now there's an action. And women get too much of a pass from being little girls to not have that action. This is not what I wanted to talk about, but it's important nevertheless. Okay. So that was an important lesson on why fathers are needed, because he will function like the mother cannot. There were a lot of women in that comment section like, no, he was too small to be. No. This is why your son is so emotional, and he gets emotional and he tells your house when he get mad. Now you can't do nothing with him when you want him to get off the game and go clean up. Now he'll tear up your whole house with you in it because there was no man to make him process his emotions so that he can get past the emotional point and think. You always coddled him. You always gave him whatever he wanted, or you just stopped whenever he gave you resistance. You didn't know how to come through his resistance properly in order to convey a lesson. First of all, because you're a woman with no backup. Once boys get to puberty, you're just a chick. He can fight you. He can fight you. And depending upon the temperament of the boy, he may or may not become violent with you. All boys don't do that. They don't be violent, but they will be disobedient. Because, I mean, you can't whoop me. You can't handle me anymore. I'm not afraid of you. You can't whoop me. You can't spank me. You don't really got no consequences for me that I fear or that I respect. Listen, let me tell you something. It is not in male nature to respect females. Men have to be taught that. Men and boys have to be taught to respect females. The reason that it is not really in male nature to respect females is because he can whoop them. Females don't have any physical consequences that he must respect. She don't have no authority. She don't have no physical prowess. She doesn't have anything that he needs to respect. So it is not within male nature to respect females. Boys have to be taught, told, demonstrated that their mothers and their sisters and those types of things need to be respected. This is why it's easy for them to disrespect a woman that don't have no man with her. As soon as he realizes there's a man, it's the man he respects, not the woman. If I go somewhere and a man disrespects me, he'll do that until my husband shows up. Because I wasn't worthy of respect on my own. My husband is, though. Because my husband has consequences. Oh, well, you should respect people because they people. It doesn't matter. In male nature, I mean, women are female. I mean, females are human, but what does that mean to them? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything to them. So you being a woman doesn't mean anything. Even if you carry yourself respectably, they're not going to respect you. The dog can't be respected until the owner show up. And I know that women may not want to hear that, but men do not naturally respect females because they do not fear them. Okay? This is why when your male child reach 12, 13, 14, 15, he don't respect you because he don't fear you. His daddy have to make him do it. And he still don't respect you. He respects his father. He still don't respect his mom. He respects his dad. Because his dad said, you better treat her, fake like you respect her, act like you do, even if you don't. Because if you don't, I'm going to pay some consequences to you. So you're going to have to fake that you respect your mom. Okay. It doesn't matter what kind of mother you've been. You could have been the best mother in the world. Your son don't respect you unless his father tell him to. You're a woman. He gets to a point where he's like, men can love you, but they don't respect you. They don't respect you. They have to be taught that. They have to be told that. So this is why that rampant single motherhood is a destruction to the young boys and to the young girls, because men only respect other men naturally. It's in his nature to respect other men that can give him consequences, that can have authority over him, or that can whoop him. I can beat you up. So men can respect other males in his nature. It is not his nature to respect females. He has to be taught that. That's nurture for him. It's the complete opposite for girls. It's her nature to respect men. She has to be taught not to respect them. And the reason why it's in her nature to respect men is because men can beat her up. They're physically dominant. It's biological. That's why women feel fear in certain situations with men. It's an instant fear. It's an instant apprehension, because it's like, okay, if something go down, I can't do anything with this man. I hope that y'all got that. That was a whole half of the show, but that's okay. Did we understand all of that? Okay. So we're going to get to the actual topic, but let's take a commercial break. Okay. After these messages, we'll be right back, because we need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Okay. If you want to keep your skin looking and feeling its absolute best, you definitely need to get this body butter that's on your screen. If this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat, ashkicking.com. Oh, you guys are bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to go ahead and hit the like button. Let's get to the rest of these super chats. Thank you, Devon. Said last night Corey Holcomb mentioned he wanted to bring Crimson Cure on his show. He was talking about the village. This will be epic. Oh, he mentioned me? Oh, that's cool. Shout out to Corey Holcomb. Thank you, Mogul. So exactly, you have a whole generation set up for destruction. Then no accountability when all fails. Thank you, Sister Beshua. Said the father in the video with his sons is King Randall. He has a school for boys in Georgia and is doing amazing things. He was interviewed by Roland Martin, who tried to downplay him, but he held his ground. Oh, okay. So he's recognizable. I didn't know who he was, but thank you so much. And thank you once again, sis. That the same young father said he was inspired by Umar, even invited Umar to speak at the school. He paid Umar his requested fee, and Umar did not honor the commitment. Umar called him a ninja and was vitriolic towards him. That's unfortunate, especially when his daughter running around here getting in fights. I want to run that. You know what? That little beautiful bean footage. No, he ain't talking. I know somebody with a hyena for a daughter ain't say nothing. And thank you, Devon, for your super sticker. I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. So he mentioned me what in his last video? Somebody put a link, I guess. In any case, that's cool. But let's talk about the torpedoing of the village. I have some things that I want to share. Clapping for myself. The caption reads, clapping for myself for choosing to leave my 10-year marriage because the unknown seems better than settling out of familiarity, safety, and comfortability. Now, before we allow this to play, I'm going to reread that. Clapping for myself for choosing to leave my 10-year marriage because the unknown seems better than settling out of familiarity, safety, and comfortability. Isn't that what a marriage is supposed to be? Familiarity, safety, and comfortability? Isn't that what a marriage is supposed to provide? So the unknown, the fear and the chaos of the unknown. See, this is what happens when there is no God. When there's no spiritual anchor to stop the foolishness. That was nothing but chaos. Nothing but chaos. What that says is that the order is too much. I need a big dose of chaos because I've been under too much order. This is why this is the result of no God. This is the result of not living by the Most High at all. Because marriage is such a myth that marriages that are safe, that are healthy, that are good are also boring. No, they are not. They are not boring. No, they not. associations. I hate that we as a community make certain associations with things. Because we associate fun and excitement and adventurousness or just curiosity or just the ambition to do things with like bad. That anytime you want to do something, you want to go somewhere, you want to have a little adventure or make a memory, it has to be rooted in some kind of foolishment, negativity. Like we've attached negativity to all leisure. Like all the leisure has to be something negative with it or something forbidden about it or something, you know, taboo about it or something. And we associate, you know, healthy things, good things with boring things. You can't do nothing. You can't. This is why people don't want to do what God wants. Man, I don't want to do no religion because you can't do nothing. You can't go nowhere. You can't. This is why so many folk gonna burn in hell. I'm sorry. So many folk gonna burn in hell because we don't know how to have good leisure. So many folks gonna burn in the fire of hell because we don't know how to have good, healthy, positive leisure. We have associated all leisure with everything bad or wrong or crazy. We don't associate good with fun or excitement or getting things done or really get like what? So with that, you got these chicks like this talking about some, it's boring basically, and she needs fun. So she needs to torpedo her marriage. If she's ever, because some of this might be rage bait, right? Because I do believe that it's like CIA operatives making TikToks at this point. Like, please, somebody come take this tinfoil hijab off of me. Because I think that like the CIA is making TikToks at this point. Because ain't no way. Clapping for myself for choosing to leave my 10-year marriage because the unknown seems better than settling out of familiarity, safety, and comfortability.
That is not a flex. That's not a flex, girl. That's bad. Oh my god. And then the fact that she just didn't like the idea that there was any form of peace. Because comfortability, familiarity, just, oh my gosh. Girl, you just basically made one of the biggest statistics that they talk about in women initiating divorces. 70% of women initiating divorces. Very small percentage is due to abuse. But the large percentage of that, out of the 70 to 75, is being vaguely unhappy. Vaguely unhappy. Listen to what I just said. Vaguely unhappy. You wasted 10 years of your husband's life just to say, I'm not happy. I want a divorce. Because if a man did that, the women would come swarming into the comments and sitting there talking a whole lot of shit to that man saying, why the fuck did you waste 10 years of this woman's life then? Make it make sense. Oh my God, I need to get up. I'm tired. I'm gonna love you.
Like, here are the girls. Said, you know, when I get bored in my marriage, I find something fun for us to do together or circle back to a hobby I haven't done in a while. Because that's what you're supposed to do when you're bored, right? You're supposed to find something to do. Okay? Feminism has made destroying marriage a sport. So aren't these the things you look for in a marriage? Can't stay a teenager when you hit the age of 20. Now I want you to see why. Right. The only reason things get boring is because you're boring. And let me tell you, I can be very boring. I tell you that I don't be doing a whole lot. Like, I'm not constantly somewhere doing some crazy activity. I'm out, I'm about, I'm over here, I'm over there. Listen, let me tell you something. 90% of all of my work, real work that I do, is done in this house. Okay. I have errands that I run. And when I'm bored, you know what I do? Find something to do. Because always something to do. It's always something that you didn't get done before. Or I find something of leisure. I have coloring. I have all kinds of little crafts that I haven't done in a while. I haven't crocheted anything in a while. I haven't sewn anything in a while. I haven't made anything in a while. Every once and again, I should have played my little game. I'll go in there, turn the PlayStation on. I'll listen to some music. Sometimes I get in the mood to sing. Sometimes I get in the mood. I don't torpedo my relationship. I don't go in and where my husband at and start an argument with him. I don't pick and find something to be mad at, all of that, that's not fun to me. That's not fun to me. Making chaos in my house, that's not fun to me. That is not fun. There's nothing fun about that. There's nothing exciting about that. That's a dread. That's a dread and a drain. That's a drain. That's an energy drain. Why would I do that? If I want to go and, say something to my husband, I'm not going to go and pick an argument with him. I'm going to go in there and kiss on him or something. If anything, he had to tell me, get off me. And when he say, get off me, the most I do is poke my lip and I find something to do. All else fail, read you some Quran. Go read your scripture. Go sleep. Like your mama used to say, go lay down. Go lay down. But I ain't sleepy. You'll go. Go lay down. Find you a good recipe that you're not trying. Something. You don't start getting divorce papers ready. You don't start getting an attitude for no reason. Picking arguments for no reason. What's wrong with you? Let's talk about this for a second. What's the limit? What's the limit? What the limit be? She's still in here. Don't block her. Don't time her out. You still in here? Because if she ain't in here, I'm not even going to waste my time. What's the limit? Unless your husband is emotionally, mentally, verbally, or physically abusive to you, I'm trying to figure out what is the limits, because there's a such thing as a divorce. The Most High left it there. He left it there. It's there. And the reason why divorce is there, even though Allah hates divorce, He allows it under certain conditions. You can do it because sometimes you do need to leave that person. Sometimes you do need to leave that person. Sometimes that man need to be left. Sometimes that woman need to be left. They need to be left right where they're at. Sometimes you have gotten to the breaking point. You have completed every step of reconciliation and repair that both of you could possibly do. And at the end of those things, the conclusion is still, we cannot be married. In those instances, regardless of the reasons, in those instances, a divorce can happen. Because you've done whatever you could. Sometimes you just cannot. So there's a such thing, but it's not arbitrary. Y'all are arbitrarily waking up and just deciding that you don't want to be married anymore. That is not the criteria for breaking your family. That's not the criteria. See, the Most High never told us that we have to be oppressed under nobody. Matter of fact, He forbid oppression. He forbid dhulm from people. So you don't have to subject yourself to somebody else's oppression of you. So as sacred as marriage is in the eyes of the Most High, He does give you an out if you must take an out. But y'all are not y'all are not working on your marriages. Y'all are not trying to save y'all marriages. Y'all are not trying to make sure that you could keep going. Y'all are not trying to pick up no pieces. Y'all not trying to understand. Y'all not trying to have patience. Y'all not trying to pray. Y'all are not trying to get therapy. Y'all are not trying to get counseling. Y'all are not trying to communicate. Y'all just leaving it. And that's not what the Most High wanted us to do.
Say something that's probably going to piss some people off, so brace yourselves. Men tell women to enjoy being alone because that's men's biggest fear. But for women, that's a normal thing. We're used to that. That's our baseline. Because women don't get as much out of relationships as men do. Like, there's a reason women say that if they had children, they would want to be the dad and not the mom. Because being a mom is grueling. You are doing 2 times more domestic labor and childcare than your husband, than the father of your children. Your labor, your emotional labor, your relational labor, your mental labor, your domestic labor, your physical labor is all being exploited. Women are doing more in and out of relationships, and it's exhausting. They get less out of relationships than men do. And this goes so far back as even into boyhood, into childhood. Point in time, women relied on men as a means of survival because they couldn't open up their own lines of credit. They couldn't have their own checking accounts. They literally relied on men for means of survival. And now we don't need that. We are going to school. We are outpacing men in college degrees. We are outpacing men in workforce participation. We are outpacing men in home ownership. We are the men now. And we don't need men in our lives unless they are adding to it. But unfortunately, most men aren't. Most men are depleting women in relationships. Gone are the days of men simply needing a decent, well-paying job and health insurance to land and keep a wife. Those days are gone because women provide those things for themselves. And men don't have anything else to offer anymore outside of that because that's what they were taught. That's all they had to provide. And now that is no longer enough. Men get so much more out of relationships, but the same cannot be said for women in relationships. I'm going to say something that's probably going to piss some people off, so brace yourselves. Men tell women.
Y'all are the men that y'all seek. She explained it perfectly. She explained hyena thinking and the feminist mind perfectly. She explained it perfectly. That is the crux of it all. To put women in a position that they think men feel. Abandoning their posts as women and thinking that that is some form of empowerment or upliftment to try to fill an occupied space. Men already fill those spaces. That is the feminine mind. That men don't have anything other to offer other than their money. Husbands, I'm talking about. Not just any man, husbands. Lions, husbands. Husbands do a lot. A lot that don't have nothing to do with their money. Want to be the men now. Want to get into a D-swinging contest with men over who can be a man. And I wanted to show y'all that because it came from the horse's mouth. Is this or is this not the plight of the hyena at this point? This is why winter came. This is why winter came. And this is why it's so harsh for them, because they keep believing rhetoric like that. They keep feeding themselves rhetoric like that. I'm not going to settle and this and that and da-da-da-da-da and, blase blam and, we can give our own selves the money. And what else do you do? We don't have to depend on men completely financially all the time and things of that nature, which Okay. So you put yourself in a position where a man can't snatch his provision out from under you and you just fall. Okay. But now what? Now what? To them, that meant we don't have to be women anymore. I'm all for going to have your own work, income. I'm all for that. No, because women have to know how the world works. You gotta know how the world works. You gotta know how to pay a bill. You gotta know that. You got to know that. You have to know that stuff. That I don't advocate women in 2025 not knowing that stuff. I don't advocate that. Hearing women say that they've been married for 15 years and 20 years and they don't know how to pay the mortgage, they don't know how to pay the bills, I don't advocate that. I don't advocate just sitting around not having no income, no skill set that can be made in income. Because you can have the best marriage in the world. You know what happens? People die. People get sick. Life happens to people. Just because you married a capable man today doesn't mean that he's going to remain capable. Anything can happen to them. Anything can happen to them. And you not knowing how to function as an adult, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So that's why I don't advocate that. Just not knowing how nothing happens. And well, my husband handle everything. That's a child. That's a child's place. How you will help me and you don't even know how to help. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you absolutely need to know how to do things, how to pay the mortgage, how to go and work, how to get an income, how to get, because God forbid that man be somewhere getting a car accident or something like that and he can't do it no more. You don't know how to do it because you was never had. That's crazy to me. Women, even women back in the day before it was all this modern stuff, she knew how to go out there and work that field too. She knew how to work the hearth in the home and get this in and go out in the garden and do. She knew how to do that. Go milk the cow. Go get the stuff. Go get the eggs out the coop. Go. She know how to do that stuff. She know how to do that stuff because she gotta know how to do it. Ain't no such thing as she don't know how to do that. How she don't know how to do that? So women that put themselves in that position, you kind of deserve what you get because what you mean you don't know how to do it. That's like two pilots in a plane, and something happened to the pilot, and the co-pilot don't know how to fly the plane, so you didn't go to flight school. So hold on. You didn't go to flight school? What you mean you don't know how to fly it? What you mean? What you mean you don't know what them instruments is and what that dial supposed to say and what that light mean and what you mean you don't know? What you mean you don't know? So I have never advocated women just not knowing nothing and I'm so taken care of. You ain't that taken care of. It ain't that much taken care of in the world. It ain't. Even if your husband sit you down, even if he make enough money to retire you, you ain't got to make no income. You got to know how stuff work. You got to know how stuff work and you got to know how to do it. You got to know how to do it. So this is not always about doing stuff because you're trying to leave your husband or anything like that. Men typically pass before their wives pass. Your husband gonna leave you one of these days. If you don't leave him first, your husband gonna leave you. Even if they gotta roll him out of there on a stretcher, he leaving. He gone. Ashadu, I bear witness. I bear witness. One of these days, he gonna have to leave. He's leaving by hook or crook. He leaving. And the day he leave you, you gotta know what to do. Huh? You gotta know what to do. That's why I fought so hard to work in them last few years of my first marriage. He was dying. I knew that. He knew it. I don't know what he fought me on it for. But the thing that broke it down was I said, you're leaving. You're leaving. You're gonna leave me. You're gonna leave me. And I've been your housewife for these past 15, 16 years. You're gonna leave me with nothing. And I won't have the skill set. The work history's gone too long. I can't work. I ain't gonna find no work. I'm gonna be homeless. With no skill, no nothing, no money, no nothing to fall back on, nothing. That's not gonna work. You're dying, sir. I love you, but you dying. And we know you dying. That's the reality. And you gonna go sooner rather than later. Sure enough, like 4 years later, he was gone. Ain't no such thing as you don't know how to do it. Ain't no such thing as you don't know how to get a bank account. You don't know how to get the bills together. You don't know how to get it. Ain't no such thing as that. Ain't no such thing as that. No. But y'all gets the money in an effort to leave. Y'all get a couple of dollars and feel like you ain't gotta have your husband no more. That's not how that work either. That's not how that work. That's not how that work. How you get a couple of dollars and now you don't need your husband? So all your husband was a couple of dollars? What kind of man you marry? To leave your husband to do nothing but have a couple of dollars rattling around in your pocket and be trying to find your husband again. When you leave your husband, you try to find him again. Because ain't no man gonna treat you halfway unless your husband was a dogmatic somebody. Ain't nobody gonna treat you halfway like he done treated you. Last Tia Mowry and all the good she done left that man and trying to find a man again and mad because they don't want her and they talking to her crazy. Come on. Look at Vanessa Bryant. He had enough money to sit her down. Kobe was a millionaire. But she had to know how stuff worked. She had to know how his world worked. Because look at it. He was suddenly out of here. He wasn't sick. He wasn't old. She didn't have no warning. Him and her baby in a sudden accident that took their life, and all of a sudden, she had to know what was what. She had to move. She had to move around. She had to move around. Now, what if she was stupid and didn't know how nothing worked and lost all his wealth and lost what if? And you know she had to know what was going on because she grieving at the same time as she having to get stuff together, and she grieving. Like I said, that was sudden. She wasn't looking for him not to come home. Wasn't nothing wrong with him physically or nothing like that. Like I said, he wasn't old. He wasn't sick. He wasn't good. He was a healthy. Him and their daughter was healthy and having fun and all of that kind of stuff. And boom, he didn't come home that day. That day he didn't come home. See, you ain't guaranteed to come home. Your husband not guaranteed to come back just because he left out the door. Take for granted that he coming back, but he ain't got to come back. And you and sitting there and making problems, and then on top of that, you don't know what's going on. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Ain't nobody got time for that. Thank you, RJ. So I can't function properly living in chaos. Thank you so much. King Pepper say, hey, women, when you're bored, how about inventing something tangible to move mankind forward? Thank you, Christina, for being a member for 14 months. Thank you so much. Hopefully you are in the Discord and taking advantage of the membership perks in Discord as well. Thank you, Big Rob. Said thank you. No, thank you. Thank you, Andre. Say, any thought on 1 in 4 Black men being stepfathers? I don't have a cohesive thought on that at the moment, so I will reserve my tongue. Exactly. But I'll tell my husband, be safe. I always make dua for him. The Allah keep him safe. Just going, it can happen just going to and fro real quick. Real quick. Try to have as much peace as you can between you and your spouse, because you don't know when it's going to be the last time you see them. You don't know when the last time you're going to see them. We take for granted that we going to grow old together and we got all this time. We ain't got that time. I done lived more than half my life, and so has my husband. What time? What time? Time is ticking. The clock is ticking. We on the clock. Thank you, Geddes, for your super sticker. I appreciate you. Appreciate your contribution. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. All right. But before we go,
all of these styles and designs can be found at our Etsy shop in the description below. Aaliyah's Unique Boutique at Etsy.com. Follow us on IG at Aaliyah's Unique Boutique.
so you definitely want to go to Aaliyah's Unique Boutique. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Go and get you some handcrafted, beautiful earrings. The shop is updated on a regular basis, so you're bound to find something that you enjoy. Once again, that link is pinned to the top of the chat, Aaliyah's Unique Boutique. All right, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonite.